Hey, everybody. Hey, what's going on? Hello, Elsa. Hi, Jen. Hi, Jean. How's everybody doing tonight? Hey, Patty. How are you? Hello from Australia. Dang, what time is it over in Australia right now? That's good, Elsa. Glad you're doing good. Everybody's doing good. I'm trying something different. Thanks to Miss Dusty. She showed me how to get on this StreamYard today, and I'm gonna be able to like bring people in if they want to share a story with us today. On our last live chat, we had Miss CG and a couple other people who had some experiences and they wanted to tell us about their story. So I thought that's something that we could do today. It's 10:31 a.m. Oh wow, 10:31 a.m. Hey Jennifer, where's Tony at? Oh, that's good. Good. Hope she feels better. Everybody's coming down with a cold or getting over a cold. Oh, that's good. That's good. Taking a break today. Hey, Christy, how you doing? Oh, wow. See, I'm getting a lot more people in. I should come in earlier, usually. There's Hazel. How you feeling today, Hazel? So I wonder if this works the same way as it does. Oh, thank you so much. I'm gonna call you Australia because the adventure of Bronze 73. So we are going to continue our chat from the other day. Like I said, it's going to be a Q&A, or if you want to share a story with us, I can bring you in to the chat and you will be on video. Um, so I ask that you have your camera up if you're not camera shy. You could just share your story with us because some of y'all out there got some interesting stories. Even if Tony, Jen, if Tony wants to come in and share his story about how he got into ghost hunting, that would be interesting. Hey, David, how you doing? We have David. I'm gonna bring him in. Hey, David.
Hey, face to face, Pally.
Hi. All right. How you been?
Yes, how you doing?
Pretty good. I can't complain. Can't complain. So we want to share stories. You want to share a story with us today? I know you sent us a pretty amazing video of some things that were happening in your house at one time. Can you hear me?
Uh, yes. My name is David. I'm from South Carolina, and ghosts. Ghosts have activities here, and everything's good now. But I found out it was my brother was coming through. Let me turn out my light here. My brother was coming through, and he's been dead for 3 years. Coming up November the 18th this year.
And what ended up happening there?
Light was flickering, water faucet was coming on, the refrigerator door was open one morning, and I talked to one of my other friends about it. They said, put it on the camera, which I did. I sent y'all the video, and ever since then, it's good here. Okay, hang on. My sound is awful here. Okay.
Yeah, that video that you sent to us, I'm gonna put it in, make it into a short if you don't mind, and I'll share it on
No,
my.
I don't mind a bit.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because that's pretty interesting, and you can clearly see movement in the kitchen
Right.
area. So it's yeah. I got the chills when I first saw it, and
I
I
did
don't.
too.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty creepy. So that's really unexplainable what happened in your house. Was that your
Well,
one and
I hope if I don't talk to y'all anymore, but I hope you might have a good happy Thanksgiving coming up soon.
oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Thank you. Same to you too, David. Same to you. And again, thank you for sharing.
Oh, anytime. I'm gonna
Okay.
have some more videos for you later. I think in February we're supposed to go to a place in Abigail, South Carolina, at the hotel, and
Mm-hmm.
we're going to do a little ghost hunting there. So I'll get you some more videos for you to look at.
Okay, definitely. Don't you guys have a YouTube channel? Don't you like do stuff on
Yes, it's called Ghost Paranormal.
what is it? Ghost.
Ghost Paranormal.
Okay. So if you guys want to go check out his channel, he also has some investigations on there that he goes and he does every now and then. So someone new to go check out. Definitely.
And
He
Trina, when you saw my video, you saw the cat ball light was going off, and the K2 meter was going off as well.
yeah, yeah, you had the K2 meter set up as well, and that was going off. So yeah.
Yes,
And then, like I
yes,
said, the movement wasn't it I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain, but it wasn't like a solid figure. It was weird. It was like a wave of motion. It was really weird though. Very weird.
it was a figure. There was two dark figures I had in my place.
Right. Do you ever feel like it's something dark or anything like that?
You know, that's ain't happened no more. But I still feel, like a different spirit here with me, but I ain't figure out who that person is. I have a dog here, and she's always
Hmm.
looking at a kid, and her ear is standing up straight, and she knows something is here.
Okay, so whenever she gets alerted, that lets you know there's a spirit or something is going
Right.
on.
So they
Hey,
can
Miss
see better
CG.
than what we can see.
Right, yeah. I totally they can hear a lot better than what we can hear
Oh,
too.
yes.
So I know they're way more
Well,
sensitive
I
than we are.
did my best. She slept, she, uh, she sleeps with me in my bed every night, and this is no joke. She can look up and see something going. I can't.
Okay. So I think Hazel was asking maybe again for your YouTube channel. Maybe you can type it in the comment section and then people can go find it that way.
Okay,
Because
so
the
well, I have to in
okay.
here in just a few minutes, but thank you for your having me on your show tonight. You're doing a wonderful
Oh,
job.
yeah, no problem. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad
We
somebody
have to
came
do this
in.
more often.
Oh yeah. And next time we're gonna have Mike join in with us. So it'll
Yes,
be a
hi, Mike. So yes,
yep, have him come in.
yes, ma'am.
And then I think Tony, if Tony's still in the room, he can try to come in and join us. And thank you, David, for joining. You have a good night. You can stay in the
Well,
lab, of course. I'm just gonna.
I'll be waiting for this, and when I saw you coming on live, I'm gonna be on here.
Oh, nice. That's so nice of you. Well, thank you for
But
joining.
tell
I
Mike, I
appreciate it.
tell everyone I said hello.
I'll let Mike know. All right. They can't see you. They can hear you. They can't see you. He needs to get out. Yeah, like I said, Mike wasn't feeling good. All right, so we're gonna see if there's anybody else that want to enter the room. We're gonna go ahead and let David go back to the live chat. Oh yeah, well it's Sunday too. You know, Sunday's everyone's reset day, so I know everybody's getting ready for work tomorrow and all that other fun stuff. So while we have Dusty in the room, Dusty, you have some stories you'd like to share.
Oh boy, do I. Where do I even begin? I go on camera so y'all can see me.
All right,
I
there you go.
There I am. I have no idea where even to begin with the stories. Um because there's so many. So I guess I can probably start it off from the beginning because we're probably going to be getting to know a lot of each other
Mm-hmm.
in a long time. Um,
Right.
so mine started when I was a baby. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I was sort of born with this gift. So back in the 70s, you're not supposed to be. People don't talk about it. Like it gets like rubbed off the under the carpet and know that it's a witch and no, you're just like totally outcasted, even by
Right.
kids and everything else. Even if your parents, you know, feel that you have this gift or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was 3 years old, um, something bad happened in my family and I ended up passing away for 20 minutes. Obviously, that opened up the veil for me passing
Mm-hmm.
away that 20 minutes at 3 years old. But before that, the very first time that I remember an incident, I was probably about 2 years old. And my very first story that I've always held on to, because I remember it very clearly, what had happened to me is it was down in Fort Myers where I was born. And we lived, I don't know, Mike might know the place. It's called the Shell Factory. Um, we lived in some trailers across from the Shell Factory. And when I was 2 years old, I had this mother that didn't care. She was just like, just go outside and play in traffic. Well, me
Oh
being a
wow.
blonde, we'll go outside and play in traffic. You tell me to go play in
Mm.
traffic. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go play in traffic.
Literally, don't tell me something I did not expect. Okay.
So she's, yeah, there's a big story with that too. But I had to go through some woods and I went through these woods. I had got all scratched up. And when I was younger, I had white blonde snow hair. So we have palm fronds in Florida. The palm fronds, the little palm fronds that have like the cuts, like the little saws on them, the little ones,
Mm-hmm.
not the big ones.
Right.
So I remember walking through those things, getting all cut up, getting my legs all cut up, my head all cut up. And there's this big ditch in the two-way road. And I remember going under this ditch in the two-way road. About 2 years old, you don't understand what cars are. You don't know that they're going to kill you. This is a big road now. I think it's 41, and it's a pretty busy road.
Mm.
I remember getting in that ditch, and I was on my way to that road because I was on my way towards the shell factory, because big shell and everything else. I mean, 2 years old, you see things that get your attention.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember getting up like at the lip of the road, and I was on my way over. I don't know how I made it over, but all I remember is this guy in a robe picked me up. He had gold eyes, long hair, gold eyes. He was in a robe. He had picked me up and put me onto the other side of the road.
Oh wow.
I went into it was like a little mini mart that was there. And because back then, before the time, 911 wasn't around neither.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember going into the mini mart and they gave me a donut in a bottle. It was a glass bottle, of a baby bottle, and it was glass. And they gave me that and they set me up. And the lady was totally freaking out because I had so much blood on me. And well, the cops came and they're like, "Oh yeah, we know who this kid is," and they took me right home.
Mm-hmm.
And all I was in was just a pamper. My whole body was cut up. But I remember to this day, this man that picked me up, and he had these golden eyes, just these golden eyes. It took me many, many years to figure out who did it. And I strongly and firmly believe that Jesus came and picked me up
Oh, wow.
and put me across that road, because there was no other people walking down that road. None. Nobody would have seen me. So
Wow.
that was one of my biggest things that about 2 years old, I remember. And they say you don't get your consecutive memory until about 36 months. And I
Wow.
was right at 2. That was my biggest one of the beginning part.
Right. Because that opened your veil. So it
Whenever,
allowed you to
yeah.
see. So that allowed you to see more things, or
Yes. Whenever I came out of the hospital, I'm a very transparent person and I talk, so I don't fib and I don't lie. I'll tell you straight up, what happened to me. I've always been very open.
right.
So this mother that we were talking about beat me so bad that she ended up, it was bad.
Oh, wow.
So like I said, back in the day, 911 was not available yet. I don't think they came out to 911 until about the late 70s, early 80s, I believe is when 911 was invented.
I didn't know it was that late.
Yeah, it was. I don't know when it was. So you're going to make me go look it up too.
I was thinking that too.
But they didn't have 911 back in the day. And it would have been 72, 73, 74, about 75 whenever I had passed away for 20 minutes. And I remember, it was in my dad's arms. And then, what was told to me. I was beat pretty bad by my mother. And my dad found me, saved me, took me to the hospital. They took me away from my dad because they thought my dad did it. And when my dad was fighting, for me, I was put in a foster home for 2 weeks. And in that foster home is when I started having my paranormal experiences. I remember being around 2 twin girls, but they were ghosts. They were not real girls.
Really?
Yes, I remember the two twin girls. I remember seeing them. I'd went up and I told the people about the girls, and they told me I was full of it. I would go to the baby room. I would have to go to the baby room because they tried to put me like in the bigger kids room, the 3-year-old room, but I wanted to be in the crib room is where I wanted to be. There was a pool and there was a boy in the pool. But that boy wasn't really there.
Oh,
but
wow.
I remember that boy being in the pool. So that's when my very first paranormal experience started, when I saw 2 twins in the foster home. And I was just 3-4 years old, three and a half. And my parents, they put that up as my mind just playing tricks on me. And, that it wasn't real, that they don't believe in this stuff. And then through there, that's when a lot more experiences started. It was just like bam, 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 back to back, seeing people, seeing spirits. My mom took me to the doctor to have my eyes checked because I always told her I saw people in my eyes because I didn't know how to explain what I was seeing. It was 1968. There's no way. because they didn't call 911. Was it 1960 for real?
Maybe Maybe they just didn't call 911. Maybe it was around.
We just didn't call 911.
Right.
I was born in 72, and I know we didn't start learning about 911 until, gosh, the end of grade school when it started becoming really big. February 1968. So that's crazy. Thank you, Romy.
Okay. Little
Wow.
history lesson.
I got history lesson.
Right.
I
Little
should have looked
history
it up.
lesson. Huh?
When
Okay.
did Florida get it? Romy, can you look that up? North Fort Myers, Florida. Can you look that up for me real quick?
So not every city had it. Okay.
Yeah.
And we have Miss CG waiting in the room. Yay.
I can wait and come back, give her a little bit of time. So
Okay.
I'm so interested. I want to hear her stories.
Right.
Like, I want to hear her stories. So I will go
Okay.
back on mute. You can bring her up.
All right. I'm gonna bring in Miss CG. Here we go. See if I could do this different layout thing.
Hello.
Hi, Miss CG.
How
How are
is
you doing?
everyone?
We're good. How have you been?
I'm good. I'm good. I've been on 2 phones and this stupid laptop. I just could not.
You finally
I'm
figured it
not tech
out.
savvy.
Finally
So
figured it out.
let me tell you my stories.
Okay.
It started with me when I was a little girl, young. We lived in a home that was haunted. What used to happen is like the bedroom door would unlatch. You could visually see it unlatch. And I mean, we ran out of that house so many times. And I also remember a time we were all sitting in the bedroom and my stepdad was telling us a story, always telling us stories. And you remember the chains that used to be on, you could put the string that's on the light
Uh-huh.
and it has the chain and you pull it down.
Right.
It came down by itself.
Oh, wow.
And as our stepdad, he was like 6'3" or something like that at the time. He ran and left us all in there. And we were everybody trying to get out the room at the same time, screaming and hollering. So a lot of things happened when I was younger, but back in 1995, I think it was, I was in the military station at it's now Fort Liberty, Fort Bragg, Fayetteville. So I decided to go and play the Ouija board because my cousin called me. He was stationed there at the time as well. He said, come play with the Ouija board with me. And I was like, the Ouija board? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, no, I don't think so. He was like, it's fun. Come. So I went over there and I know, right?
Yeah.
So about maybe a couple of months prior to that, I had a cousin who got shot and killed on homecoming night. Just standing outside in a stray bullet. So anyways, I went over there, got on the Ouija board, and it was trying to tell us that it was him. I don't know what was going on, but I can tell you that it answered all of the questions that we had. Every last question we asked, it would answer. So I got on the Ouija board with my cousin's wife because I knew she didn't know any questions that I was going to ask, because I really thought they were pushing that little, whatever that thing is called, pushing the pointer, pushing it around.
Right.
And I thought they were trying to play a joke on me. But when I got on there, it blew my mind. And honestly, I don't recommend it to anyone, but I did it. And
so when you had your hand on that, was it, I don't know what that thing's called either. The planchet. I might be pronouncing that wrong, but you could feel it moving itself.
Yes. I mean, it is the craziest thing. That Ouija board is for real.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I played with that thing and I went home and that night activity started happening. I mean, my flowers, I had some fake flowers. They would move on their own. And my sister and my aunt and my mom, they had came to visit me in North Carolina from Missouri. And they wanted to go. Well, my sister and my aunt wanted to go to the NCO club. I didn't want to go, but I took them and dropped them off. And so I was in the room and stuff, and all of this crazy stuff was happening. I was hearing bumping noises, and like I said, the flowers were moving, and I was so scared. And I ran to my mom, and she was like, "Get out of here with that." You know, she didn't want to hear it. She was scared too. Anyways,
I would have been freaked out.
I was so scared. So my sister,
you guys didn't know any better to close out the Ouija board.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you left it.
Exactly. So my sister came in and don't laugh, but I was so afraid when my sister came in and she was toasted. So I was in the bed and she slept in the bed with me that night. And I was like, I was like, hold me. She was so drunk, she just threw her arm over on me.
Right.
And I stayed like that all night. But anyways, that was one of the stories that happened to me when I first started messing with that Ouija board. And about a year later, I got remarried. And we had bought this house. Of course, when we got the house, we didn't hear any stories about anyone dying in the house or anything like that.
Right.
But all of these things started happening. Like right below the bedroom was the laundry room. You could hear the laundry door, the cabinet doors, you could hear them opening and shutting. On our bed, underneath the bed, you could feel scratching like on the bottom of the bed. You could just hear this scratching. To the point where you could feel the vibrations of it. Wow. You could hear whispers in the wall. All kind of stuff was happening. So one day I sing, I'm a gospel singer. So I had a room that I had all my equipment in. So I turned on my microphone one day and I said, okay, I'm leaving the house. Just make sure that, this is what happened after I left. Right. And I came back and there were all types of whispers on that. And I took that cassette and I let this lady who supposedly could, decipher things. Right. But she claimed the cat destroyed it. I never got it back.
Oh, wow.
But I told my husband at the time, I said, I am leaving. If you don't get us out of here, I'm leaving. It was petrifying.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the last thing that happened was I came home and I was the only one there. And you had to go upstairs to my bedroom and downstairs to the living room. So I was going upstairs to my bedroom like I always do. Soon as I entered the room, the telephone cord was just dancing across the floor. I eased back down the stairs and flew out of there. And I told him, I said, we got to move. We got to move.
Yeah.
Yep. So that is what happened.
But you don't feel like you interacting with that Ouija board brought something to follow you to the next place? Did you continue to still have things?
The reason I would say probably no to that is because my family was experiencing it too. Okay. It wasn't just me. My family was experiencing it too. My children were braver than I was, because they would tell me that their toys on the dresser would move around and stuff like that, but it didn't bother them. I'm a big chicken when it comes to this stuff. I really am. I'll be the first to admit it. I'm a big chicken.
If I was to see something like move to that extent, yeah, I would run out of the room. I don't think I would stick around to see what it was, even though we go out and we do the ghost hunts and stuff. But I expect some type of noise or a slight movement, but just to see that much activity and hear that much, yeah, that would be hard to live with.
And the last thing that happened to me, I purchased a home. It was my divorce gift to myself. So I purchased this brand new home, saw it built and everything. And one night I was laying in the bed and I heard this knocking or rapping kind of sound on my closet door coming from the inside of my closet door. And I'm like, what in the world? And so I get up, go look in the closet. It stopped. So I'm like, okay. I get back in the bed. I hear this rapping sound again on my closet door. I'm like, oh my God, what is that? I mean, just petrified.
Right.
And it happened so much that I looked up these people. It was a group that came into my home, went all through my home, used sage, did all of this stuff in my home. And all it did was angered whatever was there. When they left that night, there was it sounded like an explosion in my home.
Oh, wow.
Let me tell you, I almost tore my garage door off getting out of there.
Wow.
I left. The next day, I went back and it smelled just like rotten eggs. I mean,
wow.
I thought it was a gas leak. I called the gas department. They came, looked around, everything. They were like, they said, ma'am, everything is good. It went away. The smell went away. But what happened after that was, the reason I know those people angered whatever was there, it seemed like it was contained in the closet. That's where I was having the activity. But after they came through, what would happen every night around 9 o'clock, something would hit my door, bam, real hard, every night around the same time. Like it kicked it or punched it every single night at the same time. And then after that, the reason I know I had an attachment is I could feel it on my body.
Oh,
like
wow.
I could feel it moving on my body, like going through my hair,
Really? Wow.
I could feel it moving on my body. And that's why I tell people, if you've never had a true attachment, you can talk all day, you can sound good all day, but if you've never had that experience, it is terrifying.
Wow.
And you can sage and do everything you want to do. A lot of times it's not going
It's
anywhere.
not going to work. Yeah, it won't always work.
No.
Wow.
The
That's
reason,
scary.
yes, what started with the attachment, I was in my vehicle one day and I just felt this tapping behind my seat. And I'm like, my God, what is that? I mean, I could feel it just tapping behind my seat. And so what I did was I grabbed my phone and I just started snapping pictures. I don't know why, but that's what came to me. I started snapping pictures. And when I looked at the picture, I saw this, it looked like a face that's in a bubble. And I have all of this. When I move, I'm going to send you a picture of that. And I'm going to send you a picture of when I was shooting shots of behind my neck, when I felt it or when I could feel it. It looked like I was just, bruised severely on the back of my neck. So I have pictures of that. But it lasted for a couple of years. And all I did, I was so petrified. I cannot even tell you how petrified I was of the things that was happening to me, where I could feel this. I get like chills just even thinking about it.
I'm getting chills with you telling me the story. So I could imagine how it was.
I could feel this thing on my body touching me. And it was just crazy. Crazy. So I have dealt with seeing my closet doors opening by themselves. Now it don't bother me. If something happened, it don't bother me. I'm just, like, get out of here, devil. I just talk to it like firmly. And then I pray in the name of Jesus. I rebuke you. You have no power over me. Get out of here. I talk some noise to it. And now little things, I hear things, but I don't experience nothing like I used to experience. Nothing at all.
Crazy.
Thank you, Jesus.
That's crazy. So to
That's
me,
go
it
ahead.
sounds like I feel like it was that Ouija board that kind of opened a door for you, like opened some type of portal or something that brought something with you.
I mean, it definitely could be because we didn't know what we were doing,
Right.
not
Right.
at
Right.
all.
And that's the same with Mike's niece when she was younger. They ended up playing with the Ouija board, but we can't he say she won't talk about it. She won't share the experience, but it was really bad, really negative. And the same thing happened with them. They never closed out their session, and things just started happening to where they had to, I think he said they ended up having to move from where they were because of
Mhm.
so much negative activity around them.
Yes, yes.
Wow,
I
that's
mean,
really scary.
I used to tell Rob and Joe all the time. I talk about it all the time to them. I know
Hmm.
I got on their last nerve because I used to tell them about it all the time. This stuff is real because I
Right.
know what happened to me. And I believe, honestly, if I was not a person who loved the Lord and who was in tune with myself,
Hmm.
I don't know what would have happened because it was trying to drive me crazy. It really was. I mean, it was trying to make me have anxiety, all kind of things. So that's why I tell people, if you have anything, it can cause those things to intensify. Anxiety, illnesses of different sorts, depression, alcoholism, drugs,
Hmm.
whatever it is you have, it can cause those things to intensify. I
Right.
never had anxiety before, never. And I was a mental health therapist at the time,
Hmm.
but I started having anxiety.
Mm.
And I was like, this is crazy. You
The
know,
people around you see changes in you? Did they feel like you were like going crazy?
no, I
No.
never, I fought it hard. I'll tell you that. I fought it hard, very hard.
Mm.
But I'll tell you, my experience helped me with someone else because one day this soldier came into my office and he was acting very bizarre. And he said to me, he looked at me straight in my eyes and he said, I brought something back from Iraq. And I
Mm.
said, well, what did you bring back? He said, I don't know. He said, something inside of me. And only because I had been studying and researching and talking to people did I know this guy had an attachment.
Wow.
I mean, he cried like a baby when I started talking to him and asking him questions. He cried like a baby. He said, no one understands. He said, no one understands what I'm going through. He said, I put a gun in my mouth
Oh
to
wow.
kill myself. And I told him, I'm so glad you didn't do that. And I start telling him when he hear those voices, don't listen to them
Right.
because they're trying to drive him to kill himself. Don't listen to them. And as I was talking to him, he looked at me straight in my face, in my eyes, and he said, they're going to get you.
Mm.
And I said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. And
Mm.
honey, I told him, I said, this session is over. I said, whatever said something to you at this moment, don't you ever say that to me again or to anyone else. I said, because you're giving power to those entities.
Right.
You're giving power to them.
Right.
So after he left, I told them, don't ever put him with me again.
Wow.
Because I was dealing with my own. I didn't need his
You
too.
didn't need no extra,
No,
right?
not at all. Not at all.
Wow. If you guys, not to interrupt, but if you guys want to like send pictures or videos, images, or anything like that that you want to share, I can post them later on our channel as well. But our email address is 40 fortune 13, number 13 at gmail.com. And I'll also put that in the comment section. So just for future reference, if y'all have anything you want to share, and we can share it as well on our channel.
Okay, great.
So you said also, Miss CG, you said like you have images. I think this was images of like alien activity or something you had.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Was
have
this
like 500 and some pictures.
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I don't know what was going on with me. I believe in this since I was a kid because we've seen a lot coming up. We've seen
Hmm.
different things in the sky coming up. But about I've been here 2 years, so it's been about maybe 4 to 5 years ago. I don't know what was going on, but I just had this. I've always been a sky watcher, but something just happened to me where I just was like mesmerized by looking, for things in the sky. And so
Hmm.
what I used to do was I would just take my camera and just snap, 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 driving, snap, 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 just snapping pictures. Didn't see
Really?
anything, but I was just snapping pictures. But I was catching stuff every single time. Stuff you couldn't visually see with your eyes, but you could pick up on the camera.
Oh
And
wow.
it got so bad. I mean, I was so engulfed in this craziness that I started feeling that like I could be driving and it was like I was trying to leave my body while I was driving the car. I would
Mm.
have to pull over and like ground myself. It was just crazy. It got so bad. And then it was like the Lord was talking to me, the Holy Spirit was talking to me and saying, that's enough. You seen what you were supposed to see, leave it alone.
Leave it alone. Right.
And I did. I stopped looking the way I was looking and things like that. So now I still capture things. Um I've captured crafts, I've captured things morphing like I don't even know how to explain it to you. I don't know how to
Where are
explain
you?
it to
Where?
you.
Yeah. Where are you located at? What state are you in?
Currently I'm in Illinois, but
Okay.
I'm getting ready to relocate back to Georgia soon. I'm
Okay.
transferring my job.
So when you caught those pictures of the UFOs and stuff, that
Everything
was up.
was in Georgia.
Oh, that was in Georgia.
Hmm.
Oh wow.
Yep. It
Wow.
was Georgia and South Carolina because one of my daughters at the time lived in South Carolina. So I'll be going from Georgia to South Carolina.
Okay.
And the first
Wow.
thing that I captured was, I mean, I was like, what? It was like, I don't know. It looked like a bubble, but when you span in on it or
You can
zoom in
see
on
it.
it, it was a head, like a metallic head. You could see the eyes and everything. I mean, it
Really.
was just crazy. I saw a craft one time that was flying. You know how airplanes fly like this?
Mm-hmm.
What I saw was flying like this.
Like it was
Like
at
it
an
was,
angle or
yeah,
upside down.
yeah, it was weird. Flying like this. And I've caught
Wow.
several with the lights all around. I've
Mm-hmm.
got, several pictures of that. I've just seen a lot of stuff. I've even caught like rainbows with like a figure coming walking out of the rainbow. I mean, I don't know why I catch
Really.
things,
Maybe
faces.
you must have some type of gift to see things.
Yeah, but I don't want to see them. I don't want to. I don't want to. I
We get
really don't.
yeah.
I've been told
Yeah,
I'm a
you
beacon. I'm sensitive. I don't want to be none of that. None. I mean, I don't.
you're like, I don't have time, I don't want
I
to
just
see
want to
it.
be a light
No.
for Jesus. That's it. I don't nothing
Right,
else.
right, right.
Mm-mm.
Well, I mean, it's hard to to shut it off if you already have that gift, though. Sometimes I used to want to have that gift, but I don't think now that I'm older, I don't want to have that gift because I feel like I would see things and hear things that I don't really want to see. It's
Absolutely.
just would be too intimidating for me. But like you say, just prayer. And I always used to wonder, like, because I know for a fact me and Mike have had attachments, and luckily it hasn't been anything negative to the point of like staying around,
Mhm.
and it's made me sick. Like Mike got sick one time, but it's made me sick as well, and then it'll go away, but never to the point of actually like sticking around for years or in years. So I couldn't, I could never imagine something like that.
It
But I
never.
always go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you finish.
No, I was just gonna say, like what we do, we know we're taking that chance of going out there, and we don't
Absolutely.
know, yeah, we don't know what we're bringing back, but like we just pray about it. We pray when we get there. We say a prayer before we leave, and just hope for the best that nothing follows us home.
I never felt as if it was something demonic,
Right.
but they're never up to any good. Never. They are
So
trying to do something. They're never up to any good. I don't care what people say. They're not hanging around just to be your buddy. They are up to no good. They're trying to drain your energy. They're trying to cause you some type of mental problem. They're trying to cause you some type of physical problem. And I'm
right.
telling you from personal experience, if you're not rooted and grounded and
Hmm.
you know the Lord for real, they can cause havoc in your life.
It can have a big impact. I know.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely.
They definitely feast on the weak. So
Definitely.
I know I know
And
it's a
fear.
mental game. Yes. Yeah. Big time.
I know, I remember, I just started talking crazy to it. I mean, I
Hmm.
never cursed anything, but I can get my point across without that, believe me.
Without,
And
yeah.
I used to talk straight craziness. Let them know, no, 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 no. This my life, my body. It don't
Hmm.
belong to you. This belongs to Christ, not you. You have no dominion over me. Get out of here. I'm not afraid of you. I mean, I would just say whatever to it. And I guess it got sick of me. It got sick of me, and it eventually went on.
It's like I'm just leaving this lady alone.
Yeah,
Let me
she
leave this
talked too
lady alone.
much.
Well, it works. It works. But like you say, you got to rebuke it and keep your
Oh yeah.
oils around, and
Hmm.
it'll stay away. Wow. Okay. So thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
thank you for having me.
Wow. That was very interesting, though. It definitely gave me, I got chills listening to your story. Jesus. But yeah. Okay. Well, if you can, like you said, when you get ready to move and you get a hold of those images and stuff, if you want to share those, you can send them to our email.
Okay,
And
definitely.
okay.
Oh
All
yeah,
right.
you're
Well,
gonna be blown away. I guarantee you.
oh, I'm sure I will
Oh yeah,
be. Yeah. I can't
definitely.
wait to see them though. I'm interested to see them. I have another lady that we follow on TikTok. She does a lot of, well, she does paranormal and she does UFO. She does a lot of stuff. She's does a lot of different stuff. She goes on Google Maps or Google Earth a lot, and she looks at a lot of stuff. But
I'm
her,
afraid.
yeah.
I don't want to see. I don't want to see. I don't want to see. It's just so. It's some creepy stuff out there. I'm telling you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I always feel like the living is more creepier at times than others.
I
So,
mean, that's true too. But I can handle them real good. I can handle who I
yeah,
can see. One
right,
way or another, I can handle them. But that I can't see, that's what creeps me out the most.
right,
You can't change people. People going to be who they are. You know,
right.
but
Hmm.
to have something rubbing up against you that you can't see,
You can't see, yeah.
or trying
That
to do
that
something to you that you can't see, they're
right,
trying to do something to you you can feel, but you can't see that.
right.
I mean, it's not a good feeling at all. It's horrible. It's terrifying.
Wow.
I remember when I first shared this with one of my sisters, she was like, "Get away from me."
Don't bring that over
Right.
here. Yeah.
You sure it's
I
gone?
don't want no parts of that. Yeah. Yeah, it's scary.
It
It is
is.
scary because, like you say, you can't see it. I understand that you can't see it. Something that's like touching you and touching your head. Yeah, I would. It would make you think that you was going crazy if you didn't know it. Like it
You
would.
heard of I think it's incubus and succubus.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
Real. It's real. It's real.
Really.
It's
Really.
real. I'm telling you, it's real.
Wow. I have also have a Latin friend. Her ex-husband was a pastor, and he did a lot of cleansings. And she was telling me of some of the things that she had saw. Uh, like she could see the spirits that were attached to these people, and a lot of them were demonic spirits. She
Mm-hmm.
said that attached to them, and he would have to bless them to get them to, I guess, leave. But she said they wouldn't always leave. They would still be there in the presence. They just wouldn't be near that person at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting. I don't know. It just always interests me, but I don't want to dive too deep to
Mm-mm.
where I get attachments like that. No. So, like I said, it's a hobby because we like the history. We like historical locations. We like um it's just I don't know, it's an adrenaline rush more than anything. It's not a
See,
passion. It's not my passion.
but let me tell you, what you just said,
Hmm.
that's what it'll do. It'll make you
Right.
want to,
More.
more and more.
Right, right. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's what happened when we had went to, I was talking to Dusty earlier about it, when we had went to the Yellow Murder House. That's the same place where um I guess Joe was attacked that went like a long time ago. But
Mm-hmm.
that place had me to the point where I wanted to constantly keep going back to figure out what was going on there.
Mm-hmm.
But knew I felt like it was taking over my mind. So it was like
That's
you
what
have to,
it does.
yeah, you have to step back from it. Yeah, yeah. So you just have to know when enough is enough.
Yes,
I think you have to be in the right frame of mind to
you
do.
absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. Definitely can't be weak minded, or you'll fall into. It's like bait. You'll fall into their trap, and then they'll have you where they want to have you at. So
So many people have attachments, don't even know it.
don't know
They,
it,
they have
right?
no clue they have attachments. That's because they're not in tune with their bodies
Right,
to recognize change that's going on.
right, right. That's scary though.
It is.
Dang. Yeah. Well, hopefully that might like open the eyes of some people to let them know, you got to be in tune. You got to be um mentally strong,
Yes,
and
absolutely.
yeah, just or like you say, just don't even dip into it.
Mm-mm.
Just leave it alone. Just leave it
No.
alone, and you ain't even got to worry about it.
And the only two that I watch is your show and Joe.
Oh, really?
I used to watch Rob and Joe, but
Uh-huh.
Rob, they've gotten into things I just don't want to,
Right, right, right.
yeah,
Yeah. They're getting into some deeper stuff, I've
yeah.
noticed too. Yeah. But yeah, I definitely don't like to play with the Ouija boards and stuff like that. I don't, yeah, no seances, none of that. Mm-mm. So,
Yeah. So I mean,
Joe has an attachment. Yeah. Like Hazel said, Joe has an attachment to the Frank Lloyd Wright house because he kept wanting to go back. Yeah, he went back with us too. I think it was a couple months ago, 2 or 3 months ago. We went back to the Frank Lloyd Wright house.
I think Joe may have experienced something that
Hmm.
he have not shared with us. That kind of spooked him. That's what I'm just feeling. I could be dead wrong, but
Hmm.
um,
I think you're right, though. Yeah, I think you're right, and it's what made him change the way he was thinking about things and how he was
mm-hmm,
doing stuff, paying more attention to how he moved and
Right.
he wanted to switch that up. I definitely agree. So yeah, he got closer with God, and
Right.
so yeah, that's
Hey,
why.
Joe.
Hopefully he'll watch this. Hey Joe, I don't know. I don't think he's in here right now, but hopefully he'll watch it. He watches every now and then. So, but yeah. But okay, Miss CG, thank you so much for sharing your story. That was very interesting. I
Thank
can't
you
wait
for
to see
having
those
me.
images. I really want to see those images. So
Oh,
we
yes.
can share. I'm
I
gonna
will
let Mike.
definitely do that.
Okay. All right. Well, you
Hey,
have a good.
Mike.
He's over there snoring away right now.
Zaza
But
live.
yeah. But yeah, he'll watch this video tomorrow and then he can see everybody's comments and stuff. But thank y'all so much for sharing. Um all right. So
Thank you for having
I'm
me.
oh, no problem. Hopefully we can do this again sometime because this is really interesting. I'm glad Dusty was able to show me how to do this. You learn something new every day. All right. So if you want to leave us out with the last story, Dusty, I'm going to go ahead and I'll let you have the floor if you want to.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to.
She brought up awesome. She brought up a couple stories, sort of what she experienced, sort of some of the stuff that I experienced, and it's like crazy.
Oh, wow.
I think I'm going to start with the Ouija, and then we'll get to the attachment. With the
Okay.
Ouija, the first time I ever touched an Ouija, I was probably 7 or 8 years old. My parents had this game. It was a game to us.
Yeah. They
You know,
sell it in the game board section of the stores. That's why I don't understand why they.
it was just in the game section with Candyland, Monopoly, the
Mm-hmm.
Bible books,
Yeah.
you know, right at the corner of the hall where they kept all the stuff for us kids. And I remember one time I took this Ouija board into the room and I didn't have nobody to play with. I have 3 brothers, and I have 3 brothers that were not nice brothers at the time. You know, a
Mm-hmm.
girl, ew, and 3 brothers.
Right.
They were off doing their own things, and usually I was left to my own defenses whenever I was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
So I took the Ouija board into my room, and mind you, I've already, had experiences with seeing ghosts, hearing voices, seeing things move in my room, and just not being able to express myself, more or less capping the stuff that I knew.
Mm-hmm.
So I brought this Ouija board in my room and I sat down in the middle, and I really didn't know how to play it. I mean, I was 7 or 8 years old. I didn't know you have to ask for names or whatever. So I just put the planchette in the middle of the board and was just, fumbling around with it. The planchette was actually moving by itself.
Oh, wow.
I didn't have to touch the planchette. It was moving by itself. I don't know what was going on. I never knew you had to close it out or had to do anything with it. So I
Right.
just picked it up and put it up. Throughout my childhood, I always saw, like I said, ghost people, bad things happen. There were a couple bad accidents. They were on the news. I was involved in these accidents. They were on the news, but I was sort of safe. I think I had like a guardian angel.
Mm-hmm.
Then when I was 18 was the second time that I touched the Ouija board. And this time, it's more for impressing, like I didn't want to touch it because I remember the experience that I had, but you're around these 4 girls, you're getting new friends. Apparently this guy had just died. And we were in this apartment duplex. I was out on my own and like, hey, girl, come and play this game with us. And no, I don't want to be in your clique. I'm good.
Right.
Well, peer pressure. So they get 4 black candles, put it over the Ouija board. Apparently where this guy died in the room, they set the Ouija board. And they had the 4 black candles. And they all put there was a total of 5 of us. There were 4 girls and me. So they all put their hands on it and they're like, come, and it was a glass. That's what I was talking with Hazel about. You know, she's like, it didn't have a planchette. You use a glass. They actually used a glass, a clear, it was like a quart clear glass about that big.
Right.
And put it in the middle. And they're like, come on, you chicken, put your finger on it, Dusty. You know, no, I don't want to do it. So as I was going to go put my fingers on the planchette, because you're not supposed to touch the planchette, you only your energy. So as I was going towards the planchette to connect with the planchette, it shot off the board. When it shot off the board, it hit the wall and it shattered the glass, and the 4 candles went out.
Oh, wow.
All the girls left. I mean, they went running and screaming. One jumped out the window, and it's not like a big window where you're going to jump and get hurt.
Right.
One jumped out the window. She was screaming and hollering. All the rest, I mean, they just took out of the dark house. They were gone. Me, I don't remember what happened. I just remembered I was thrown up against the chain link fence, and this arm had a whole bunch of scratches up my arm. I had blacked out. I do not remember what had happened to me other than I woke up against this chain link fence that was in the back part of the building. Now, throughout the years, because I did not touch it, and thank God I did not touch it. All 4 of these girls that touched that glass, that planchette that night, every last one of them are gone.
Oh, wow.
They died. They're gone. And I sort of thank my lucky stars. When that happened, there was a big Spanish psychic called Walter Mercado. I called Walter Mercado, and, you know, I asked him, like, what happened? Where was I? Why did I black out? Why did this happen?
Right.
And I will never forget his voice, what he said to me. He says, you are to never touch on a Ouija board ever again. You hold a key. And he hung up on me. I don't know what key I ever held. I do now. But those words haunted me. Literally haunted me. And I never touched an Ouija board again. When I started watching the girls pass away, you know, one was a car accident, other was drug overdose, other was domestic violence, and the other one was she committed.
Oh, wow.
And I'm the only one that's left out of that group that's still alive.
Wow.
So that was my experience with the Ouija board, and I know I'm rushing. The attachment, that one scares me to death when she was talking about the attachment, because her attachment was almost like what I went through with my attachment. Now, throughout the years, I kept my gift. I didn't want to experience my gift. I didn't want to be any part of my gift. I wanted to stop seeing things that I saw or know things like it's labeled psychic ability, but I didn't want to use it. I didn't want to be around it because I always thought that I was crazy. I was different and crazy.
Right.
I don't know if you remember, gosh, Nat would have been about 2. So 2009, if you remember Haley Cummings, the little girl in Putnam County that came up missing.
No.
Well, she came up missing in Putnam County. Don't know what happened to her. But when I saw her picture on the TV, I got like all these flashes. And I saw exactly what happened to this little girl. I'm like, oh my God. But who are you going to tell? You know, it's like, police don't listen to people like me. They think we're crazy.
Right.
So I knew that I needed to protect her, but I didn't know how to protect her. And I really didn't, quote, dabble in the spirit world because I kept that spirit world. So I really was uneducated. I knew what I had, but I didn't want to deal with what I had. So I was uneducated.
Right.
So, of course, watching paranormal TV and paranormal entity and things like that, I'm like, okay, well, you know what? I am going to bring her to me and into me so I can protect her. So I went into the bathroom and I lit a candle and I called her name and I said, Haley, you can come to me. I'll protect you. You know, just you're okay. I'll protect you and eventually I'll release you. All of a sudden, the candle was a white candle. It wasn't black. I knew to burn white. It was a white candle. That candle blew out and I felt this cold breeze like coming to my body. I was like, oh, cool. I got her. You know, like whatever just happened worked, you know, and I felt really different. So it took 3 days to realize I had screwed up big time, especially messing around with something I had absolutely no idea about. So what ended up is the first night, about 3 o'clock, I heard these like galloping footprints on a wood floor, just real heavy footprints. I'm like, what the heck is that? And my children was hearing it too. They witnessed it. So it's not like I just saw this all by myself. They witnessed things. So about the third night, I knew something was wrong. Something was very wrong. 3 a.m. had the sulfur smell. Ouch. Sorry, cat's jumping on me like I'm a tree. Got the sulfur smell. Nat, come get your cat. Got the sulfur smell. Feeling fire. Feeling hot. Nat, come get your baby. You just want to come play. He just wants to be a star. So I'm feeling I'm feeling it every night at 3 a.m. Also, on my shoulders, it felt very heavy. There was this dark heaviness that was on my shoulders that I could not explain, but it felt like it controlled me. It was like I was a zombie in a way. I mean, I was normal, but I was a zombie, if that makes sense. Like I could do what I needed to do.
So you were a little out.
Yeah, but my brain didn't understand. So my Bible would open up to pages. And when my first experience with so I'm getting all sidetracked because the cat messed me up. The first experience with the hooves, like the hooves that were walking on the floor, my feet would be on fire, like just on fire. And so the second night I woke up, there was a ring of fire around my bed. And when I looked up, there was this half man, half horse with horns at the tip of my bed. At the tip of, I was scared. Like I was scared. So the third night, about the third night, the Bible, it flung open to Leviticus. And when it flung open to Leviticus, it was talking about the fathers and the whores. About something about the fathers and the whores and that you're not to whore around and things. I can't remember the exact verse that was there, but it was Leviticus and it was talking about whores.
Right.
So I reached out to, because I was Catholic for 25 years, devoted Catholic for 25 years. So I reached out to the dietary, the sister that worked there. And I was like, hey, I think I got an attachment. And she's like, you know what? You need to come see the Father and you need to do a cleanse. I didn't know how to do a cleanse. I've never done a cleanse. I didn't know how to do a cleanse. So my brain was completely shut off. So where we have a church is called an open walls church. It was Catholic and it was made. Now have you been to Tampa, 142nd Street?
I don't know them by the street names. Mike is more familiar like that, but I know like places.
Okay. at one time, that property was nothing but land, and it didn't have a church. And now it's like an open wall church.
Okay.
That's my church. It was 142nd and 15th Street.
Okay.
It's a Catholic church, and it's called Open Wall St. Mary Church, Catholic Church. And it's for the Latino, the Spanish people. So the father, when I went up there, I had parked. I've been to this church for many, many years. I've had absolutely no problem walking on the property, dealing with the church, having my children baptized there. I had absolutely no problem with the church and its grounds. So this particular day, when that pressure was so hard right here on my shoulders, and my kids could see it. They saw levitating beds. There was a bed levitating in the room. Yeah, they saw it. They will vouch for it because they talk about it a lot. They would see things move, slide across the floor. There was just a lot that they also saw. So whenever I had walked in to go into the fence of the church property, I was stopped. And the lady was looking at me like, Dusty, come on, because I would also volunteer there and pass out food. Right. And she's like, Dusty, come on, what's your problem? I'm like, I can't come in. This thing on my shoulders, it was not letting me go into my church. And I'm like, you got to tell the father to come out. This thing is not letting me in. And I was like, literally like crying and shaking. I'm like, it won't let me come in. And I thought maybe I was being theatrical or something, but I knew I wasn't being theatrical. It's like I could not cross the barrier onto sacred ground. So the father came out. And as soon as the father came out, he put a cross on my head, and there was a loud growl. I know he heard that growl because I heard that growl. And I looked at the father and I said, I know you heard that. He goes, honey, it's not real. I'm like, what are you telling me? It's not real. I know you heard that growl when he put that cross on my head. So he tried to bless me a little bit of water. I'm like, no, honey, you're going to bless me a gallon of water. And the lady, she goes like, Dusty, you need to go home. You need to get roses. You need to get pink roses, red roses, yellow roses. You need to get rose petals. You need to take this water. You need to open the Bible, and you need to go across your walls, and you need to cleanse your home. Right. I went in there while my kids were in school because it was just so thick. The atmosphere was so thick inside of the home. You could literally cut it like butter. It was just so thick. And I was scared because I've never done this. I watched the movie Paranormal Entity. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to lose my life. They're going to kill me. I'm going to get lost. I'm going to be under this house in the pipes. Nobody's ever going to find me after I'm done with this. Right. So I grew some balls, and I went in that house, and I was stern, and I got the Bible, and I started, just saying the verses and everything else, and throwing the water on the walls, the blessed water on the walls. And I stood in the middle, and I drank it. I'm like, you are going to leave me. I rebuke you. You are done. You are out of my life. You cannot be with me. You cannot be with me. You are rebuked. And I remember the Bible just flaring back open because I looked at my Bible and it just flared open. And again, it was on Leviticus, and it was talking about whores to men, men of whores. I don't know how. Like I said, I don't remember the verse, but it was right. Talking. You're looking it up? It's talking whores and men. After that, we took pictures, and I got one picture that is really clear of my kids. And then I got another picture that has about 1 million orbs in it. And there's one golden orb that my daughter, she was 1.5 at the time, and she's literally pointing at the golden orb. And she could see that orb as like it was leaving. And the pictures are like 2 seconds apart. One is completely clear, nothing in it. The other one is about 1 million orbs. I'm not kidding you. I've got the pictures to prove it.
Yeah.
So do what?
I saw the one that you sent.
Yeah, that was just of my son, on his funeral. About, you could literally see. I didn't send all of them because I didn't know how Mike would be able to handle it, with what he's been through and stuff, because it shows my son, but it shows the spirit literally coming up out of his chest. It goes over my son that's in his Marine dress, and it's like he's just like over, just hanging over and just looking over him.
Oh wow.
And that one that I sent you was like my son and an angel. You could literally see the wings on the back of that golden orb, and it looks like an angel and my son was watching us mourn him. That was pretty crazy.
Wow.
But that's just a couple of my stories.
Of many, right?
Of many. I've got many, I could tell. That I get excited whenever I tell them. But yeah, it's real. It's when she talks about, the incubus and the succubus, the attachments, when Miss CG talks about them, it is real. It's very real, and you've got to be careful.
Oh yeah, I definitely believe it. I definitely know it can happen. So yeah, thank y'all so much for hearing the stories. We really appreciate it. Hopefully this is something we can do maybe once a month, or if I don't know, depending on how good it goes, more often. So that was very interesting, and thank you so much, Dusty, for helping me figure out this whole what is it called? StreamYard?
The StreamYard. I meant to tell you also, it doesn't really mess with your YouTube. So if anybody wants to super chat you or anything, you will still receive all your super chats. The StreamYard is just a device to be able to put people up on panel.
Right. Okay.
So it's good there. But it's been a pleasure. And thank you for letting me talk and tell stories. And I want to hear other people's stories. I would love to hear roaming stories as well.
Oh yeah, I'm sure Roaming has some stories to share.
Yeah.
Very very informative person.
Yeah. And I also wanted to clarify as well. I pulled it up while we were talking. The 911 in our county, whenever we were growing up, was 1976 is when it was introduced.
Okay. So
yeah, I did pull it up and everything.
County was different. It was different times.
I believe it came out in 1979. 20% of the people, was 20% of the United States had it. 1968, it was just a small universal tool. But by 1979, almost everybody around the states started using the 911 tool. But ours was 1976 when ours came into fruition.
Okay. Interesting.
Wow. Yeah, it is. Won't you love Google?
Thank you so much, Dusty. This was fun.
You're welcome, Miss Drina.
Definitely, everybody. We will have to do this again. I'm going to reach out also on my other platforms and maybe have some different people come in and tell their stories as well. And if y'all have other stories you want to add to it, we can do that too. So this was fun. So thank y'all. Thank y'all for watching.
I'm going to drop down. Good night.
Y'all have a good night, guys. Bye.